will be coming into the draft, and we will see RRQ Akira will have the choice on which side they want to take, first or second pick. I'm kind of excited to see myself, and it does seem they want to stay where they were last game, and the bans are already coming in. Kadita. Oh, did they swap?
Yeah, they went with the blue side this time. Now, I mean, given that situation, you still have to decide, like, what is the hero worth prioritizing here? Because we know we're going to give up 2 of those quality hero picks for Blacklist International. And, you know, honestly, at this point, maybe just, and some people argue that the Benedetta wasn't the thing that won the game here, right? So do you leave it open? Do you grab it possibly for Takashi maybe this time? Same thing. Do you leave the Eztez open because you had such a hard time working around that sustain train from Blacklist International the previous game?
But this is what I mentioned, right? If you want to target ban Venus, how do
can't.
you do that, right?
It's hard.
Venus's hero pool is insane. You ban out the Estes, you get the Matilda. You ban the Matilda, you get the Estes. But here we see that RRQ Akira, they're going to start the respect ban here. So they don't want to take it themselves, even though they have first pick. But they also don't want that to fall into the hands of Blacklist.
Most definitely, there are still a lot of things open on the board. You still have the Glue, you still have the Kaja, you still have a lot of options to go. Now, I feel like when you're first pick, first ban, I like target bans, right? Because you leave some things open for yourself, but you don't want to leave too much open because we know Blacklist can answer back with 2 of their own. Now, I would argue honestly that yes, the Mastermind did come a bit into the draft last game, but it was also some of the shot calling during game, taking that early pick to make sure Edward could be proactive on the map in the EXP lane, and it just seemed like every time RRQ tried to make a tempo of their own going into the gold lane, trying to make ganks, they could not succeed. Now, RRQ does have first pick here.
First pick, this is a very weighted decision, right? Because like you guys have been mentioning here, I mean, even looking at the first phase of bans, they're kind of focused more towards, you know, mid lane and of course Edward. But we see RRQ Akira locking the glue here, who's I feel like has been up in the air so far for the M series, right? So that's the thing, you're going to trade over the carry, and I would have actually loved to see RRQ Akira possibly pick up that carry, right? We see how valuable it is, and the Eve was open. So Blacklist International taking that.
Oh, but we do have a quote here from Bonchan. Interestingly enough, they are still in their prime, I believe. If the 5 of them are still playing, they can break any code. We'll see if that actually happens here, because they are leading in the series 1-0 as the main 5. As when we're coming back into the drafts here, we see that RRQ Akira have secured the Lolita as well as the Claude. So now they're starting to go for their comfort. I'm wondering if Blacklist might pick up something like the Grok in order to try and, you know, even out the scales going against the blue.
Well, I mean, RRQ Akira tried to do some big CC potential last game with the Atlas. And I'm wondering, you know, they use this Lolita trying to hope for the same thing to kind of counter the Ube strat. But once again, all you need is a few Purifies on the field, right? We've already seen how well Blacklist can deal with some of that heavy CC. And if Oh My Venus wants to go for something again, like the Estes, I don't see a whole lot dealing with that. But hold on a second. The Hoodoo.
We know who that is.
We all know who that is.
Here's the Diggy, right?
The Diggy to counter all CCs. So you mentioned the Purify. They're like, you know, we're not going to waste the spells. We're not going to waste it on Purify. We still need something great for the carry as well as the Eve. So we're just going to, you know, take the
Purify.
Diggy.
We'll take the Purify hero, basically.
The 5-man
like the walking
Purify.
So, and not to mention just the annoyance of all those bombs, right? I mean, you'd be surprised at how much those can whittle you down, especially because now we've seen Diggy played a couple different ways with Blacklist International. Also can be rolled with the Impure Rage emblem, where you kind of get some of that mana back and it's just constant bombs everywhere here. And then what that does on basically the battlefield is now you're afraid to enter every bush, right? You're afraid to walk into a bush full of bombs here. So, but still, I do want to point out as well that this Lolita pick is where we saw Luis shine so far in the group stages, right? He's made some massive plays on it, and if he can do that again here, meanwhile Gusa Lugusa is able to farm up on the Claude and utilize the Blazing Duet the way he needs to. This could set themselves up here. I really want to see how RRQ Akira rounds out this draft as we get through this second phase of the ban.
Okay, so the Farsa has been taken away by Blacklist here to deny that pick away from Sagan. He does still have a few options here. He could pick up something crazy like the Lunox if they want to go for a full dive. That's still definitely a possibility because not only does the Diggy give you anti-CC, it also gives you a little bit of shield, and you could totally use the Lunox to go onto that. Against the Eve in a lane, it's not too bad as well. But RRQ Akira, they do have the next ban. They chose the Lapu Lapu before, the Fredrin is still open, and I would have thought this was a really good pick for Blacklist, the Grok. The Grok to be able to sustain in that lane, balance that lane against the Glue, even though Glue has been a quote-unquote OP hero in this meta.
You know, my thing for right now for RRQ Akira is we know that the CC is no longer going to work, right? So do we kind of just go into something very damagey? Last time, when they really relied heavily on trying to lock up Blacklist, they just weren't able to. So maybe, you know, the Farza would have been a good choice, right? Heavy damage, but now they need something else. They need possibly, you know, something spicy like a Gushin or a Harith. I mean, of course, we haven't seen those in the mid, but something bursty, right?
Wow.
But the Kaja still CC.
Paquito. Edward, is this
First
Edward
time?
Balboa? I mean, now here's the
Edward
thing. Yeah, he has many signature names, right? But I want to go back to your point real quick, Trex. You could go with that bursty options for RRQ Akira. It would be great because your question was, how do you deal with that, you know, the time journey from the Diggy pick, the cleanse? You burst it down so you get it out early on, and then you have that advantage. Okay, here we go.
Damage.
This is exactly what you were talking about. The Leo Mord is locked in here. That's going to be going in the jungle here. Burst is there, right? Question is he going to be rolling with the killing spree? And then Lilia as well.
Very reliable, does a lot of damage, has really good laning phase as well. I think we've talked about this before, that the Lilia is so good because not only is she able to use the Black Shoots to get out of sticky situations, she's also able to deal out so much burst damage even in the early game before the Eve even gets that power moment, right? So the problem is with the Leomord that I usually see is the fact that the Leomord really needs to snowball from that early game. Now, Blacklist, they are known to be aggressive if it needs to be, and this last pick is going to determine the gameplay that they're going for. So the Fredrin last pick here.
Now, so with that Fredrin and the Diggy, I don't know if they're going to be able to push into the enemy jungle, at least not unless King can get a nice power spike. As you said, maybe snowball a little bit. But I do think that they should be able to lane pretty fast, especially with the Lilia. Maybe finally create a tempo and actually succeed in some of those gold lane ganks, right? With the Lilia, you're able to get under those towers, you're able to be hyper aggressive, and that's what I think RRQ Akira wants to bring. It's what they tried to bring in game 1, they were not able to succeed, and I think they can bring it into game 2. Now, Blacklist, on the other hand, once again, we know that they are so good at just defending, so good at letting you think you have it and then striking back. Look at the faces of the RRQ Akira fans right now, or just the RRQ fans. They want to see a win here. They want to see something happen. They are cheering, but can RRQ Akira actually succeed in going against the world champions? So join me as we walk into the land of dawn. Will the Western Warriors from Brazil be able to take a game back against Blacklist, or will they succeed in taking this and making it 2-0?
2-0 is the question. Will Blacklist be able to take it out? But now we're going straight into the Land of Dawn to see exactly how both of these compositions are going to be implemented and conducted within the game. First and foremost, no Purifies coming in from Blacklist. They already do have that Diggy with the Time Journey, so they are going for their respective spells. And like you mentioned here, King on the Leomord is on that killing spree, so expect that they are going to try and push the tempo here in the early game.
You know, what I like to see here from Brazil is that they're already kind of being aggressive. Luis, he checked that blue buff immediately, made sure to give his team some vision. He's already being proactive, and we see them already, Lilia, move up into that EXP lane to try to pressure onto Edward. This is what they need to bring, but they also need to be careful with it.
Well, right now, King's got to get an early kill here if he can. Doesn't have the level 4 just yet. Oh My Venus going to be the focus. They get the flicker out for now early on. And still, King just waiting here, but top side, another flicker from Takashi. Blacklist International going to follow it up. It's Wise and Edward. Can't get the kill just yet, even with a taunt. One punch away, can't get it.
super close. I mean, right now, both teams are trying to make their own tempo. They're trying to not play into each other's rhythm. But remember, 20 seconds left on the next neutral objective, and I do believe that's when things are going to get a little messy. But on the bottom side here, Gusta Lagusta, he's not having too much of a good time.
Definitely not having a great time, and I think it's going to be very important for him if Brazil... Oh, that is just so dirty, and these are the type of things that Blacklist do. It is a game of seconds, and Blacklist knows how to take advantage of every single one.
I mean, that's got to be frustrating, right? And now the first turtle up here. But this is what we expected from One Venus, and this could just actually be a trade objectively, because you see the focus on the bottom side, and right now RRQ Akira going to go ahead and secure themselves a turtle.
That is the first turtle right there that they have secured, but wait a second.
Luis going to charge up, can't get away from the real-world manipulation. Haji able to grab the kill. Saigon now a little bit late to the party. Able to poke down. Black Shoes committed, but no one goes down for Blacklist.
All right, so they've already secured a neutral objective, but they do get a utility in return. But now we're going to take a look at the items here in the 2nd to the 3rd minute. Nothing too fancy just yet, although we do see that OHEB has already secured that Corrosion Scythe. So expect the damage starting to come through with the attack speed as well, and of course the adaptive damage from the Swift Crossbow. Whereas on the other side, Claude, he hasn't been able to get even his first item, so he is a little bit ahead. And it's the impact from the aggression has started to show.
Oh, that's tough, right? King looking for these kills early on is something that he really needs, especially on this Leomord pick. If he's able to get those with the killing spree, the burst damage will be there. But you can see, Blacklist International knows that. They disengage right away. They have the information. King doesn't have the ultimate currently.
And that continues to be the problem. It was the problem in Game 1, and now it's becoming the problem in Game 2. RRQ Brazil tries to be aggressive in these early stages, but just cannot succeed, right? So they need to either try to really find these picks or just push a little bit more. Maybe they can get it. I'm wondering if these emblems have anything to do with it, Eterna.
I mean, it really all depends on what emblems they picked up and how they're going to be able to implement that in the game, right? I mean, Fredrin, you can see with the Demon Slayer, he's trying to be able to get a better clear and a better lead in that early game because of how they want to prevent that snowball coming in from RRQ Brazil. So right now, we can see that it's not been as successful, so Blacklist's plan has been working. But remember that Blacklist, they weren't as dependent on level 4 as RRQ Brazil. Luis needed that level 4 in order to have a huge impact in the game. They haven't really found that moment just yet, but now they're starting to reach that power spike. We'll see if they're going to be able to implement that game properly now as we are entering that 4th minute.
Man, oh man, I feel so bad for Gusta Lagusta right now. They're just continuing to harass him, having such a tough time. One thing we can say is Takashi doing a little bit well, but it does seem like we're going to have a brawl down in the turtle pit.
Turtle going to be at half health here. Wise trying to get in position for the retreat. Takashi trying to zone him out with split. King still working on it. Time Journey committed too.
Oh.
Wise goes in, grabs the turtle away, and now it's a full-on fight here in the river. King grabbing a kill on Wise as he falls. Takashi to flicker around, but look at the damage from OHEB. Able to pick up a kill for himself. It's a trade again.
Beautiful steal coming in from Blacklist. Their initial lead now circling to a 1,300k lead. And it makes sense, right? I mean, Wise is level 8 compared to King, who is still level 7. So automatically, he does have that favorable trade when it comes down to those steals. Whereas you can see, even though Diggy being the roamer, he's still building damage. So even if RRQ Brazil, they want to go for a setup, one of the main weaknesses of that is that they are going to be poked down before RRQ Akira can even get a good Numenon Blast.
I think the fact that that Venus is building the damage is what's really, but wait a second, possible conceal play. They should be able to take that tower, which is very helpful, right? This is going to give Gusta Lagusta a little bit of movement around the map, and it's actually the first big win for RRQ Brazil at the 5-minute mark of the game. Yes, they are behind in gold, but at least they're still claiming some things on the map now. Gusta Lagusta, #1 highest in average turret damage and #1 average in hero damage.
Well, again, Blacklist International going to retreat here. Numenon Blast not going to connect. Time's already committed, though. Takashi getting poked a little bit, but this seems to be the trend. All the ultimates thrown at Blacklist International, and they just pop the Time's Journey. They disengage from there.
What's going on, right? I mean, Oh man, like Luis with the Numeron Blast, it usually hits and it usually creates a big moment, but why is it that up until this moment, even if the time journey doesn't get popped off, it doesn't seem we've seen that impact yet?
Most definitely. I mean, we definitely haven't seen a huge impact, but I will say that the gold lead isn't escaping from RRQ Brazil right now, and there is still some definite opportunity, and because I think they have some of the damage, and Blacklist isn't like forcing it in like last game. They're not so far ahead, but maybe that can change with this turtle.
Well, there's going to be fighting for it again. Numeron Blast not going to connect. It's King that takes out Wise and grabs the turtle as they find another kill. It's Oh My Venus that falls. The double kill from King. The snowball has started.
Finally, in game 2, Brazil is taking a lead here. Well, at least it is middled out. We can't quite say it's a snowball, but with King being 3-0 and 0, that is big.
Yeah, it's on the right foot, right? That's what we want to see coming in from RRQ Brazil. You're right, maybe the snowballing hasn't really, it's not there just yet. I mean, we're already in the 7th minute and the lead is near to 0, but they're going in the right direction. Right now, we're going to see exactly how this pans out as, I don't know, what do you think about Edward on the Paquito? I mean, we haven't seen the Paquito so far, even from the group stages, but he seems to be able to have an impact.
I mean, this is normally around the time that Paquito really pops off, right? He's got that first item, almost second item locked in. The damage should be there, but when you're up against Saigen, who's got this Lilia, right? There's not a whole lot you can do against those black shoes. And taking a look at some of these items, he does have that Bloodlust Axe locked in. And instead of going for like the Hunter Strike or something with a bit more of a punch, he picks up the Dominance Ice instead. And I think that could be why we're not getting too much.
That's crazy, right? Even looking at this, there's only pretty much 2 items here for Haji, and the amount of damage he did to Gusta Lagusta just a little bit ago is pretty scary, and that's something that RRQ Akira has to be conscious of, right? They've got to work around this. Yes, they have a very minuscule gold lead in their favor. They're still in a good position to actually fight this first Lord of the game if they can pull it off. They've really got to just give it their all, but if we're looking at the previous skirmishes and fights, the disengages are so strong from Black International. Looks like King wants to go in. They get the times journey out. That's going to be a big win for them. Lord coming up in just a couple seconds here. RRQ Akira in a good position. Edward now trying to help out, defend the middle lane, holding on to tier 1, taking quite a bit of damage, has to flicker out. Can't get the kill though. He's going to survive for now. Lord is out now up. Does RRQ Akira actually decide to focus on it? They still hold on to the tier 1 at the top.
Yeah, Edward was forced to retreat at this point, and that means that RRQ Brazil, they're going to have the better setup in the Lord unless they try and prolong and look for a better way to go about this. You can see, Numeron Blast.
He goes in with the flicker, finds Wise here. They don't have the follow-up damage. Saigen goes down from Haji. It's a missed call here. RRQ Akira now down 1 member.
Yeah,
Blacklist International not going to focus just yet.
Saigen getting a little bit caught off guard. Yes, they have the lead, but they still need to keep it tight against a team like Blacklist. But still, I mean, it's only a 200 gold lead, but we got to look at the map right now. Brazil holding a huge lead in territory, taking away 4 towers already from Blacklist, but now we do see some action in the Lord Pit.
Takashi gonna get all the ultimates. There's the time journey too. He's gonna fall. Lord's still gonna be up though. Luis gonna go in, give him the call to go. King now on the focus here for Edward. Numeron Blast gonna land. It's Gusta Lagusta that goes down. Into the wheel load manipulation they go. Another member zoned out here from Haji. He's on the killing spree. The 3-for-2 trade.
And that's not a good trade for RRQ Brazil. I don't know what's going on, but every time they go in for this team fights, it doesn't seem like they're synchronized, right? They're going down 1 by 1, and that's exactly how Blacklist wants you to play. And in return, the early lead that they already had in their grasp has now been shaken back onto Blacklist as the gold is as equal as ever. And right now, it's going to be even more difficult, even though that Gusta Lagusta has started to reach that power spike, right? We see the golden stab coming through. The attack speed is going to start to show with the DH as well. He's going to be able to chunk members like Edward as well as Wise, who is prioritizing these sustain items.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that we were all sleeping on, right? OHEB. And when Oheb gets to just farm for free, it becomes a problem, especially when it's a carry. And in these fights, as long as Blacklist can make them last a little bit, Oheb is going to continue to melt down everybody. Not to mention, he's got that wind of nature, but...
Oh, they're going to go into the mid lane. Takashi, they get the flicker out and the time's journey from Oh My Venus. He's going to flicker himself. Gusta Lagusta still waiting around the Lord Pit here. They're going to disengage. Look again at the ultimates committed. Blacklist International playing that disciplined game now as they get in position to contest the Lord here. Takashi goes in with the split. It's going to be looking for Oheb. Can he grab him backside? It goes down again.
Oh.
Edward off cam kill here. Numeral Blast finding Wise. Oh My Venus to fall. They find another kill here. Oheb going down to King again with a double kill.
Just when it looks like Brazil is pushed back, they do come in for themselves, but wait a second.
They're still going to be going 2-on-2 on the top side. Here comes Takashi as well. King falls. Haji now joining the party, pushing him back with rear world manipulation. Takashi still on the hunt, gets the kill, punishing Wise, looking for another. Does he have enough? It's Edward Balboa. Immortality going to be popped the split as well. As he escapes, Takashi stays alive.
Takashi, the Astro Thunder, definitely doing a wonderful job right now. Just when the game seems to be out of grasp, Takashi helps picks up these pieces. King did a wonderful job as well, though he did fall there. But I gotta say right now, I'm feeling like this match could go either way. I mean, it is tie in the gold. Brazil does hold a small lead. How you feeling about this, Eterna?
Honestly, King has been doing wonders as well, right? Because he's been able to dish out that initial damage. Even though he has been taken down twice, he is still able to set that momentum for RRQ Brazil to start rolling, right? He opens up, he initiates, and he allows that damage coming in from Gusta Lagusta to be more impactful. Now, both teams are going to start centering around the next neutral objective, which is this Enhanced Lord. Who will have the better setup, realizing that RRQ Brazil, they have a lot more CC to play with?
You know, one thing I want to point out, this glue, right? We were wondering about a possible answer, and I feel like the glue, though they're not going to be able to get it every single time, is kind of that cause disruption in the back line without relying on CC. So let's see if they can pull something off here.
Well, they're going to battle out here for the Lord as they both poke away. Already getting the black shoes out from Saigon. Conceal play coming out from King. They're going to call it off. They know they're down. The disadvantage here, Edward, though, doing work, cutting the wave, trying his best. And it's just so hard for RRQ Akira to decide if they should go for this or not.
Seems like they're scared. And the one thing that I noticed is that Wise is actually a level below King, which was previously reversed. So somehow King starts to go on top, and maybe perhaps Blacklist realizes this, and therefore they don't want to fully commit onto it because they know that they are going to lose that red tree battle. But Edward here in the backside.
I mean, the way Edward does this, and this is what I mean by proactiveness, but hold on.
Oh, they're going to be going again. Here it is. Wise quite low here. Haji looking for a setup. Oh My Venus with the time's journey out. Edward in the backside, focusing on King. Can't get it. Has to get out of dodge himself with the up here on Takashi. Looking for Wise. Gusta Lagusta with the follow-up, but now he gets caught here. Able to survive as well. And still, no one able to secure this Lord as everybody unleashing here in the river. Edward still waiting patiently. Who wants to go for this? Also, RRQ Akira holding on to their tier 1 turret.
I mean, honestly, I got to give that to Edward right there. He's just playing such a great game. Had a bit of a slow start, but now he is definitely coming in. Even though the Retribution is taken out along with Wise from Blacklist, Brazil still plays it safe. They don't want to force this. They know who they're up against here. It is not going to be easy, but still, definitely one of the greatest games I've watched tonight.
It's amazing to see. Like, initially, it felt so one-sided in that first game, but coming to the second game, you can see that RRQ Brazil, they're really putting up a fight. And once again, they're going to start this Lord up. Gusta Lagusta already dealing so much damage. Right now, Wise isn't in the vicinity, but they're looking to.
Conceal play going to come out here. They already get the time's journey. Takashi going to the backside. Lord going to be worked on. Wise goes in, takes the Lord, still survives on top of it. King gonna fall here. Oheb grabbing to kill himself. It's 2 down for RRQ Akira. And man, did that look smooth from Wise.
You know, I gotta say, the walk of the Fredorin just matches the play style of Blacklist so well. He walks in, he takes the Lord, and not only that, but they take 2 players with them. just when it looks like Brazil is taking this game, Blacklist takes it back.
It feels like a caster curse, right? Because I literally said that Wise wasn't around, so RRQ Brazil had the better opportunity to get the Lord. And somehow, Wise just walked up, got the red tree, and just did that for his team. But once again, Blacklist going to go into this mid side.
Going to be pressing the situation here. They're going to pretty much only be able to get this first turret of the base down. But still, they've got the Lord marching on the top side. RRQ Akira is going to have to defend their mind out here to stay in this game.
Yeah, they definitely need to defend it out. I do think they can survive this push. Hopefully I don't cast or curse them with that one. But they do have Gusa Lagusa. They have Sagon for the wave clear, but it's not going to be easy.
Assault on the top side, Inhibitor is going to fall here. Blacklist International now going to set their eyes on the bottom. The wave going to be pushing in here. RRQ Akira defending all they can. King using that ultimate as well. Base fully exposed here. Blacklist International gives it a call back. They're going to reset.
6,500 gold lead here in the 17th minute. This has got to be one of the longest games so far. It usually goes in the group stage 14-13, but the trend is here coming to the knockouts that these games get so much closer, and so the games get so much longer as well. If we take a look at the players' goal, we see that Edward and Oheb are actually the ones to lead it out, even though King got so much gold in the early game, that mid game, where he, whoa, wait a minute, here in the mid side.
Takashi gonna get shredded down by Oheb. Gusa goes in with the blazing duet. No one going down just yet. The flicker comes out. Real world manipulation on top of it. Wise still alive here. King now trying to run for the hills. Can't get away. As Oh My Venus grabs a kill, and it's Takashi. Flicker in from Haji. Can't get the kill either. And RRQ Akira holding on for dear life. Blacklist International now into the base, full force of 5 members. It's only 4 for RRQ Akira. Blacklist International looking for the waves to push in. Still, Luis gonna get taken out. Oheb to clean up, and there's nothing they can do here.
Oh no.
One after another gonna fall, and Blacklist International taking game number 2, match point.
That is very, very sad for Brazil. I do have to say, though, it was a valiant effort. I can't get over the giant B-Wise heads. Look at them dancing right now on the ground. I'm really glad some agents showed up to support. What a match that was, Eterna.
At the end, it was just so clean. I don't really know what to say. I mean, right now, all the pressure is definitely for RRQ Akira. As Blacklist, they just need one more point to be able to continue their journey in the upper brackets. I mean, the draft wasn't bad by RRQ Akira, so what else can they pull?
You know, I'm glad that you pointed that out, because honestly, that was a good game for them. And at one point, they were, I mean, it was pretty scrappy. You saw how much fighting was going around those objectives, especially that first Lord. No one took the actual first Lord, right? I mean, it was there, it evolved, and then it was finally grabbed. So RRQ Akira, it was a great effort here, but hopefully they can just refine it for the game ahead of them.
And you know, something we had to pull out in the highlight, the unkillable KDA machine Oheb. And the moment we got into about the 2 or 3 minute mark, I was very, very worried, because he just, no kills, no ganks. Once again, once he got farmed up, it was a whole lot of trouble. But outside of trouble, we do have to talk about the M4 pass, because right now it is available. So complete all active tasks and you'll reach level 75 at ease and for free. Log in now for exclusive rewards like the Beatrix Light Chaser skin and the Beatrix Stellar Brilliance, and the M4 Beatrix figurine are waiting for you. So hashtag Mobile Legends Bang Bang, hashtag MLBB M4, and hashtag Dare to be Great. Now, how about that Battle Knight Eternal?
The Battle Knight? You're asking me? I'm sure everyone knows at this point, right?
Yes.
I mean, the M4 Battle Knight, it goes live this January 21st, so expect loads of events and rewards up for grabs in-game. So first off, all you need to do is complete battle tasks in the game on January 21st to get a skin choice chest. And then you can choose a skin you like most from the chest. And aside from that, bottle bonus awaits you on the same day. Play matches, you'll get Team Star Protection for 3 matches, double Star Raising points, double Protection points, double EXP, and double BP for 5 matches, because protection points are important. And we are not stopping here.
We're not stopping there. Free access to all heroes and loads of epic skins will also be available that very day. So save the date, log into the game on January 21, enjoy the match, and win tons of rewards. Let's all celebrate the M4 Championship together, including with your friends. And I believe, you know, that wraps up game number 2 here. It's match point ahead of us, Trex.
Yes, very excited for it, and I can't wait for game 3. I'm honestly wondering what the analysts have going on over there and what they got to say about this wonderful match, so we'll see you guys soon.
Welcome back to the analyst stand. Thank you, Tan Squad and the Casters decks. It is going to be match points for RRQ Akira. Nope, never mind. Blacklist International, 2-0. Are they going to follow the trend?
It's difficult to say because RRQ Akira is growing out of their minds. They're doing so much, and they've developed so much from game 1 to game 2. And I think we have to talk about the draft, really, at the start.
Yeah, and honestly, in terms of the draft, I like the RRQ Akira. Now they're actually moving forward and trying to go for a more unpredictable kind of draft. But again, it looks like even though they're trying for something new, it's still getting countered because the Lila is pretty good at countering the Ube strike because everyone's clumping up together. But again, the Digi kind of counters that. And the Leomar is a very, as you would say, cheeky pick. But an Eve is actually kind of strong going up against the Leomar because once you're in the real manipulation, you're getting slow, you're getting a lot of damage.
And that introduces the aspect of boxes, right? The box that RRQ Akira tried to set up in the first half was actually very strong. They picked up the Lolita, put it on Luis, and they were off to the races. But here I'd like to focus more on Blacklist's second half because they actually put an old hero back into the hands of Agent Zero, that Paquito, which was supposed to hunt down for that Claude, look for Gusta La Gusta, and even fix things up for RRQ Akira so that Blacks International could get eventually where they need to be.
So draft-wise, it's just, well, similar to game 1, where honestly, Akira got out-drafted. But let's take a look at the items here. Leomar, let's talk about a little bit on that.
Yeah, looking at Leomar, it kind of doesn't have a choice, but the start of the game, he focuses on a penetration, tries to get those items, but I kind of feel like in this situation, maybe it's a little bit better if he builds a radiant armor first because it really doesn't matter how much damage you can output if you die very, very quickly because countering that, look at Haji. The moment he completes the Ice Queen wand, it makes it more and more difficult for RRQ Akira to come in front. But the moment the glowing wand is finished, that's where the real damage drops.
And let's not get started on Oh My Venus Diggy, all right? This is a lethal Diggy mystery shop.
Oh my God.
We rarely see this because usually the Diggy is a support type hero, but when the auto alarm bombs drop from the Queen's Owl, then you know they mean business. Even in that last moment of the base siege, right? RRQ Akira could not even think of putting softies like Saigen or Gusta Gusta because they're forced to defend, go back, and then that's where I think Blacklist had a great plan. They understood that, all right, early game, we're going to overload via magic, and then mid to late, it's all about physical with Oheb and Edward. I really like this Paquito pick, despite how great Astro Thunder Tekash was in the mid to late game. We have to give credit to that glue.
Yeah, I mean, glue was a factor, but I really am curious to see the damage from Oh My Venus because he was building a violent Diggy, and there you go, the damage is quite far, but Gusta La Gusta seems to be the carry still.
Yeah, Gusta is the carry, but that was actually a very good cash lead because I didn't look at Oh My Venus's item, and I kind of feel like we can really see it once we see the highlights because every single time during the highlights later, look at Gusta La Gusta because every single time he goes in front, for some reason, his health just gets deleted so fast. And the fact that we looked at Oh My Venus's KDA just now, only dying twice. And the thing is, as a Digi right now, like Digi changes quite a lot actually, but the way that the passive works is that you can get stacks off of your first skill, of your alarm bomb. So if you die, then your stacks go down. But if you don't die, it just keeps on building and building and building. And the fact that you have just, okay, a lot of damage items, but the moment the Lightning Truncheon is built, I kind of feel like that was the real reason why the Claude really couldn't do anything.
That was a Salt Bay moment for Oh My Venus. And if you'll watch the whole match, the whole series actually, one big rivalry comes to mind, and that's that Roamer matchup, Luis versus Oh My Venus. And the fact that the Lolita has to do so much to even put a Numenon Blast onto Blacks International because of the time's journey, that gives the Queen all the more a victory.
But on that note, let's take a look at the MVP. Who's going to take it? Because it will be Haji, the KDA machine, G307. He was unstoppable.
I kind of feel like the reason why he became the MVP is because he makes it so that there's no way for you to win the team fight, because the moment real manipulation pops, it's like you have no choice. Either you stay and fight and take the damage, or you try to leave, get stunned, and still take damage.
Yep, even as early as the draft, when I saw the Leomord into the Eve, I was all like, there's a chance that maybe King might miss the Phantom Steed, given how lethal the real-world manipulation, plus reverse time, plus, you know, Paquito roaming into the back line, finding these angles, and Haji took advantage of that. He was both setup and payoff here in this game.
I mean, he bowled hybrid, right? Utility and as well as damage. He has that slow effect, he has that glowing, burning effect, but he also adds penetration and as well as movement speed with that brute force. So again, he understands what his role is, and let's see the highlights in a bit.
Not just that, cooldown. Cooldown is now on brute force.
Cooldown is important, and the thing is, I like the way that we're looking at Eves right now, because the change of the brute force breastplate is something that they already built before for that added sustain.
Yeah.
But having cooldown now is amazing. Looking at Haji's heat map from the first 5 seconds of the game to the 5 minutes, 5 seconds of the game, the way they're roaming around is, of course, you gotta stay mid, grab your minions, but also controlling the river side. And this is probably like the biggest strength of an Eve. If you walk up into the river, Eve will almost 100% outrange you. And the thing is, the range is wide. The real manipulation coming in from Haji, it's difficult to hit the damage coming from the Eve, because you got to be very, very precise in where you place your attacks. And the thing is, Haji's attacks, it doesn't even feel like meteors anymore. It feels like straight up planets.
Yep, nukes.
Mars coming down, Venus coming down, the moon, the sun, whatever is there.
Pluto, for the most part. Yeah, something to note.
That's still a planet, right?
It's a planet.
It's a planet.
Still, something to note here, the fact that in the first 5 minutes, there is that one point where Haji actually crosses into the back of the tier 1 to help get the kill on Gusta Lagusta. And something we noted, you'll see here in the highlights, Blacklist International has so much respect for Astro Thunder that there's a lot of focus on the XP lane, and I guess that's where Haji saw his opening. He's like, all right, how about I juke out and scare Gusta Lagusta, get a kill on him, and then I guess that was a start for RRQ Akira as well.
I mean, again, take a look at his positioning. He's just so safe. He knows when to pop out that real-world manipulation. And again, giving maximum damage, utility, and it's just rinse and repeat for his side of Blacklist.
In this game, in this particular highlight, we see Takashi doing really, really well, and King looks like he has the damage, but look at Gusta Lagusta. He has a lot of HP. Look at Luis. He's a tank, and he took that much damage from the alarm bomb. I feel very bad because Gusta Lagusta, like, his HP goes down so fast, like, it really isn't fair for him in this game.
Essentially what happens between the interaction of Haji and Oh My Venus on the Diggy is double jeopardy. He sets up a box, if you stay in it, you're dead. If you move out of it, the auto alarm bombs chase you, and you're still dead. So